So we are reading Zero Limits by Joe Vitale and Dr. Hugh Lin. We are on chapter 11, page number 153 of the book and 153 of the PDF.
Dr. Hewlin said he liked how I described the Ho'oponopono method of clearing. Saying someone caught a virus is accurate, he said. It's a program that is in the world and we catch it. When someone has it and you notice it, then you have it too. The idea is to take 100% responsibility. When you clean yourself, you clean the program from everyone. He paused and added, but there are a lot of programs. They are like weeds on zero. To get at zero limits, we have more cleaning to do than you could ever imagine.
So he says this very clearly here. It's very nicely said over here. It's a program that is in the world and we catch it. When someone has it and you notice it, then you have it too. So what does this mean? You will only notice something that you resonate with. So if something is not in you, you're not going to notice it. So we need to start becoming aware as to what we are noticing. And this is something that I've been founding in the biofield tuning sessions that I've been doing. Whenever the sun star, when we are pulling it back in line, it gets stuck at the eye level. It clearly indicates that the person must make himself or herself aware as to what they are noticing. Are you noticing uplifting stuff or are you noticing depleting stuff? So which side of the grid are you noticing from? That becomes very, very important. Now, if you notice something constantly in your environment, in your life, which is depleting, then you are going into the downward spiral. And if you're constantly noticing what is uplifting, then that is what you're going to attract into your life. So what you're noticing is what you will attract. So we need to be very clear with this. And naturally, if something is pulling us down, we definitely need to clean on it, right? Clean on it or change our perspective about it, find something to appreciate in it, which will allow us to shift the grid. Okay, appreciation and gratitude are like Ramban. They work with everything. Anything that is pulling you down, whatever the situation may be, if you can find something to appreciate or be grateful for about it, you're automatically shifted onto the right side. And then the magic will start to happen.
The lady seemed to understand, which surprised me. We were talking about mind-bending concepts, yet they seemed to relate to them. I couldn't help but wonder if they were simply tuning into Dr. Hewlin's vibe, which, like a tuning fork, sets a tone for everything around it that can feel its note.
So again, Dr. Hugh Lin had a very powerful field, right? Now, as soon as you go into the field of a bigger magnet, the smaller magnets are going to get affected. They had done an experiment. We've spoken about this before, but they did an experiment where they had many pendulum clocks put in one single room, all of them, and they started the pendulum rocking at different, the arc was moving differently for all the clocks. After some time, they found that all the pendulums had started to coordinate or they were moving in the pace of the biggest pendulum among the clocks, right? So the idea here again is for us to become the bigger magnet. If we can become the bigger magnet, then we will create an influence rather than getting influence. And that is what our target needs to be, to go into a higher state of consciousness. So we are vibrating at a much faster and a much higher frequency than those around us. Then we can carry people with us, right? So over here, what is happening? The ladies were understanding simply because they were tuning into Dr. Hewlin's frequency.
Dr. Hewlin and I went for a walk. It was a half-mile stroll in the cool morning air on a dusty gravel road. Along the way, deer walked around us. At one point, we came across a group of dogs barking their heads off at us, but we kept talking and walking. Suddenly, Dr. Hewlin waved his hand at them as if to bless them and said, "We love you." The dogs stopped barking. All of us want to, all of us want is to be loved. He said, "You, me, even the dogs." One small dog behind the others gave out a slight yip. I couldn't stop thinking he was saying, "Right on," or maybe "thank you," or even "I love you too."
Shivangla, get closer to your mic. Okay, so what is he doing over here? They were walking and a deer came near them. This is something that I have seen that, when you are vibrating at a higher frequencies, animals are very perceptive. They will be able to perceive it, right? Now, when he said the dog stopped barking, we have seen this happen with the reball also. Many times when a dog is barking, you simply put a reball on the dog and the entropy drops, right? And the dog will cool down and stop barking. I've seen it hundreds of times now. And many people have reported back also that this happens. So what did Dr. Hewlin did? He just turned around and sent a blessing to them, right? So it's like a reball being sent and the dogs cool down. And then the dogs can actually communicate. And I've mentioned this before when I used to do energy field rectification. The dogs in the house used to always come and sit at my feet. The dogs know what is there, and the dogs are very, very sensitive. They understand what is happening.
Our conversations were always stimulating. At one point, Dr. Hewlin blew my head off by explaining that the only choice in life is to clean or not. "You're coming from either memory or inspiration," he explained. "That's it." I replied, "I've always told people that they have the choice to come from inspiration or not. That's free will. The divine sends a message and you can act on it or not. If you do, all is well. If you don't, you may have problems. Your choice is to clean or not," he said. "If you are clear, then when inspiration comes, you just act. You don't think about it. If you think about it, then you are comparing the inspiration to something. And what you are comparing it to is a memory. Clean the memory and you don't have choice. You just have inspiration and you act on it without thinking. It just is."
This is absolutely beautiful what he said over here. So he says, you can either operate out of memory or you can act out of inspiration. You cannot act out of both of them. Now, there's a very thin line, and this is something that all of us need to discern whether something is coming into our conscious awareness from our memory or it is an inspiration, right? Now, the more we act on inspiration, the more powerfully that inspiration will come. And the key to this is getting into a still state where when the pebble drops, you actually feel all the rings happening around you, right? Now, if you have a memory, only then you can access it. If you've removed the memories, then you cannot access it, right? Then you start more and more acting out of inspiration. So the key to it is stillness, which I find that the Monroe process actually very, very gently and very powerfully takes you into that state where you can allow inspiration to come into you. Now, over here, he again makes a very nice statement. If you don't act on that inspiration and you start comparing it, you'll always compare it to a memory, right? Now, as soon as you're comparing it to a memory, you're acting out of the small guy. You're not acting out of the big guy. But if you can start acting immediately on the inspiration, then you are acting out of inspiration and not out of memory. And this I can tell you, I've been in this state very, very powerfully. I would say in the 1990s, I used to just act like that. And let me tell you, I've had some really powerful stuff happening around me at that point in time. Now also, that action out of inspiration is there, absolutely there, but it's gentler. That time it was an aggressive activation of that inspiration. So I used to really rub people around me the wrong way because I was acting out of that inspiration. I'm sure Shri Mangla will share some stories with you all when that was happening. But now it's become gentler. The thing is that you matured more. You've got more tools in your toolbox. I didn't have Monroe Institute at that time, to be frank with you. I think the Monroe process has created a real shift in personally my acting out of inspiration rather than from memory. But this is something that we need to all aspire from, to be aware of where we are acting from. What is the state of consciousness that we are operating from?
It's like we are in a grand symphony.
You missed one
Dr.
paragraph.
View. That insight truly shook me. I felt bad that I've been writing and speaking about choice, being free will, and now I learned that free will means you are still stuck in memory. When you are at the zero state and there are zero limits, you don't do anything but what is there for you to do. That's it.
Again, this is so beautiful, right? You do without thinking. You just do. That's it.
It's like we are in a grand symphony, Dr. Hewlin explained. Each of us has an instrument to play. I have one too. Your readers have theirs. None are the same. In order for the concert to play and everyone to enjoy it, they need to play their part and not another's. We get into trouble when we don't pick up our instrument or we think someone has a better one. That's memory.
So beautifully explained. The analogy of an orchestra is so beautiful. We are all players or players of instruments in an orchestra, and we have to do our part. We have a script, but when we apply free will, we go out of script, right? The conductor has the full script. So when the conductor points at us to do something, we do it. We fall into tune, we fall into rhythm, we fall into resonance with the entire field. But when we are doing something out of our free will, which is not in the script, it puts us out of sync and it creates a problem in the entire fabric of whatever we are experiencing. So the more in tune we can become, the more aware we can become of that inspiration and and be aware of the conductor, the better off we will all be, and the better off everyone around you will also be.
I began to see that a concert has stagehands, promoters, and cleaning crew. Everyone has a role. I also reflected on the different people I knew who seemed clueless to their own method of success. There's James Caan, the famous actor from The Godfather and the TV series Las Vegas. I've met him several times. His stardom is much as a mystery to him as it is to you or me. He's a brilliant actor, even legendary, but all he's doing is being himself. He's playing his part in the universe's script.
Again, what a beautiful paragraph, right? Now, if you're told to get on stage and act as someone else, it is always effortful. But if you're told to get on stage and just be yourself, then it is effortless. So, what is he saying over here very clearly? The more effortlessly that you do something, the better you are at it, because you are playing the script. You're playing to the actual script that you need to play. When we start saying, I can't, I won't, I am not capable, I will not do this, it's all the ego mind speaking, right? The more we start saying yes to whatever comes up in our conscious awareness and just follow it with love and compassion, the better off we are all going to be. And we won't even know, like over here, he's saying he's a brilliant actor, even legendary, but all he is doing is being himself. And then his stardom is as much a mystery to him as it is to you or me.
The same could be said for me. Some people who meet me act like I'm some sort of guru. If they've seen me in the movie The Secret or read any of my books, especially The Attractor Factor, they think I'm plugged into God's hotline. The truth is, I'm just playing my instrument in the concert of life. When you play your role and I play my role, the world works. It's when you try to be me or I try to be you that problems arise.
Again, beautiful. When you play your role and I play my role, the world works. When we try to be someone else, we try to be more than what we are, then things start to collapse. Okay. Now, when we go for doing energy field rectification in people's houses, there's a frequency, right? Whenever that frequency is off, I know for a fact that people are overestimating their capacity. Now, if you overestimate your capacity, you are never going to be able to be effective and efficient. Because if I think I can lift 100 kilos and I can actually lift only 10, if someone puts 100 kilos on me, I am going to get pachkod. Okay, I'm going to become a pancake. So the idea is being able to assess who you are and what you are and aspire to be more than you are. That's perfectly all right. But if you think you are X and you are actually Y, you start creating a problem for yourself. And most of the time, we are all running around with a facade, right? That facade, that facade is created by the small guy, by the ego. The more you drop your facade and simply be yourself, the more easy and effortless life is going to become. All your problems and issues are created because of the facade. Just look deep into yourself and think about this particular statement. Okay. It's when you try to be me or I try to be you that the problem arises. So the facade is what is making you or making you attempt to be something else that you are really not.
Who set up all these roles? I asked Dr. Hewlin. Divinity, he said. Zero. When was it set up? Long before you and I ever showed up, as much even as an amoeba. Does that mean there is no free will at all? That we are just stuck in our roles? You have total free will, he said. You're creating as you are breathing. But to live from zero, you must let go of all memories to be there. I have to admit, I didn't fully understand all of this. But the part I did get was that it's my job to play my instrument. If I play mine, then I am a piece of the puzzle of life that found its slot. But if I try to fit myself into another area of the board, I won't fit and the entire picture will be off.
So we all always have free will, right? But the most important free will decision that we can take is to operate out of memory or operate out of zero. Right? The moment we say that we are operating out of zero, then we are playing the instrument, or we are being the instrument that we were meant to be in this entire play, in this entire universe. Right? And if we try to be someone else, then we can never fit into the shoes of someone else, because each one of us is totally unique. Each one of us have our capabilities, uh, our talents, right? The point is to look at what is your talent and focus on it. One thing I have
Nikhil,
realized, one thing I have realized, just 1 second, Kavita. One thing I have realized, that many people start focusing on their weaknesses and work on their weaknesses. What I've come to realize in the last few years is that if you have a talent, it's better to focus on your talent and work and become more and more proficient at it, then keep working on something which is your weakness, which again you're actually weak at it, right? So you don't have a talent for it. So why focus on something where you don't have a propensity? Focus on something that you have a propensity, because that's what the universe has given to you, right? Yes, Kavita.
hi, thanks. So I understand playing from the gut. I understand that vis-a-vis trying to pretend and be somebody else. That I totally get. What is playing from zero, number one? And number two, what you just mentioned, it may be your weakness, but it could be your passion. So you're working or building on your passion, and so you're lending it energy, time, So what is wrong with
Most
that?
of the time, your passion is going to be what you love,
Yes, yes.
right? And what you're
So
good
you
at.
may be weak at it. You may not
Most
be
of the
as
time,
proficient. For example, I may be
yeah,
very good at my professional career. I may
yeah.
have some other talents which I'm trying to
See,
pursue,
one
and I'm
second,
on a learning
Kavita,
curve. For
Kavita, one
example,
second.
uh,
You are going into the what if question, right? And there is no answer to a what if question. Let me tell you.
how
Now,
is it
when
a
we,
what if?
it is a what if in the sense that what if I am, my passion is not my, I'm not good at my passion, right? So it becomes a what if question. What I would like
No,
you
it's
to,
not the question. I'm not good at my passion. It's my passion, and I'm following for something I did not have time
have you
earlier.
got an example of yourself that what you're doing? Give me a real
Yes.
example.
I'll give you my a real example. Now that I have more free time from my career,
Yeah.
all right, I am following other passions. For example, writing and poetry,
So you're good at
etc.
writing. You've
For
written two
for
books already.
so, but I need to get stronger. I need
That's
to
all right. But
learn.
you're good at it. How many people over here can say very clearly that they've written a book? I don't think even one or two more people.
Okay,
So you're
it's a
good at it.
relative term. In which case, it's a relative term. Good, bad.
Exactly. So it is a relative term. But what we need to look at, what we read in Ikigai, right? What were the four tenets of Ikigai? Do you remember? You read
Yeah.
it with us, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what were the
It
four
should. It
tenets?
should. It should
You
be your
should
passion.
it,
It should
one,
be
one, one one
beneficial
second,
to
one second.
you.
Let's be
It should earn you money,
Arey,
etc.
one second.
Huh.
What are the four terms? Number one, you should love what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, you must be good at it.
Hmm.
Number three, the world must need it. And number four, you can be paid for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you meet these four tenets, then it becomes your ikigai, and you go into effortlessness. Because
Right.
if you're doing something that you love, then
It'll
it
be
becomes
effortless.
effortless for you.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
You get it? And
Yes.
and the more you do it, you'll become better at it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you'll automatically become good at it, right?
Having said
Now,
that, I need to learn from you. For example, what I'm doing. This is
yeah.
my ikigai. It may not earn me money, but my passion, right? And it is a
So one
weakness.
second,
I'm
one
lending it
second,
time.
1 second. Over here, when it says that you can be paid for it, it does not imply that you will earn money from it.
Correct. I get that. Yeah.
You can get the love and affection of people.
Yeah,
You can build a family. You can build a
Yeah.
support system.
Super.
Your idea is that you want to be helpful to other people, and by being
Yeah.
helpful, you get solace. You get paid.
ठीक है, coming back, Niket, coming back to where we started. ठीक
Yeah.
है? It started with for being yourself, okay,
Correct.
following your gut. And what is working from zero? Itna समझा
Correct.
दे अभी,
So
चल.
again, following your gut is an intuition. Okay, it's an intuition. So you're
Yeah,
still
that's
operating from your conscious mind. You're still operating
right.
from the small guy,
Acha.
and you're getting an intuition. When you
Right.
go into zero, it becomes a state of being.
Okay. Got it. ठीक है.
You get that shift over here.
Yes.
Now you are operating in that flow.
Now you're on automatic,
You're on
autopilot.
auto.
Yeah.
You're not. It's like the engine of the train has, in the beginning, there's a lot of effort. And then when it starts running, the engine actually feeds back to the grid.
Yeah. So
Why?
that's
Because the engine has gone into auto. It's like when you're going in a highway driving in these long big highways, you go into overdrive, right?
so
Where
to
the
be
fuel
able to-
consumption is very low of your car, but the car is moving at a very smooth and a very, very nice pace.
True, but that kind of a thing you get now, even if I'm working, I
Yeah.
will be working in a very conscious state. You come to me as a patient, I will be in a very conscious state working. I am probably in the motion of doing the job, then it has to become like a Zen thing process.
Yes. So when you get into the zone, right, while you're doing your operation,
Yeah.
or
I
while
get it.
you're digging someone's tooth, then you won't think, you'll just do.
Yeah, you can come to me for lessons on words to be used, like digging is so incorrect. Bye. Thank you so much.
Okay, drilling, Baba. But you get the bhav of what I'm saying, no?
He drove it home by the digging.
Okay, I think that was a good question.
Your conscious mind will try to understand it all, Dr. Hewlin clarified. But your conscious mind is aware of only 15 bits of information, while there are 15 million bits happening all the time. Your conscious mind doesn't have a clue what's really happening. That wasn't very comforting, at least not to my conscious mind.
Great. Just 1 second. Now there's some noise coming. Let me just deal with this.
Please unmute.
Okay, so in any case, right, we've already talked about this a lot. The small guy hardly knows anything about what's happening. And the more we can tap into the big guy, which is where zero exists, we'll be better off.
As I mentioned earlier, I taught a seminar one day called The Secret of Money. I told everyone that they will have money if they are clear. If they are broke, they aren't clear. I told Dr. Hewlin about it and he agreed. Memories can keep money away, he said. If you are clear about money, you'll have it. The universe gives it if you will accept it. It is memories playing that keep it from you or you from seeing it.
So this is very clear, right? Today, if a person wins a lottery of maybe 1 crore, but his normal income capacity is only 10,000, you will find that ultimately in a few years' time, he will come back to that, right? So where is he operating from? He is operating from the consciousness level of 10,000, and not from the consciousness level of a crore. So if you want money, you have to operate in that manner. You will find that people who, who are rich will always become richer because that is the way that they are consciously operating. Now, one of the next books that we are going to read that has come, and it's come out of this thing only. First book after this book, we'll read Who Moved My Cheese, which is a small book and it's going to go very fast. The book that I'm proposing that we read after this is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which explains this concept of where you're operating from vis-a-vis money and prosperity in your life. Okay, so that will become very interesting. And this thing, what he's saying over here, will get very clear when we read that book.
Memories can keep money away, he said. If you are clear about money, you will have it. The universe gives it if you will accept it. It is memories playing that keep it from you or from you seeing it. How do you get clear? There's someone annotating. How do you get clear? Keep saying, I love you. Do you say it to money? You can love money, but it's better to just say it to the divine. When you are at zero, you have zero limits, and even money can come to you. But when you are in memory, you will prevent it. There are many memories around money. As you clean them, they get cleaned for everyone.
So all of us have memories of money. And most of us, if you really look at yourself, operate from lack. So again, we come back to the concept. What are you noticing? Are you noticing abundance in your life, or are you noticing lack in your life all the time? So just figure this out, right? Now, when we are in lack, we are always on the left side of the grid. And when we are in abundance, we are on the right side of the grid. Now, of course, we've been doing so many things over the last few years. So people have shifted. But if you analyze where you have been operating from vis-a-vis abundance in your life or lack in your life, you will figure out what this thing is saying over here. If you're operating from the left side of the grid, from lack, you will never get abundance in your life, because that is what you resonate with and that is what you will attract. So we need to shift our focus onto abundance rather than into lack.
We went into a deli and ordered coffee. The place was quiet as we sat there, but slowly people streamed in and the place got busier and louder. The energy in the place grew. You notice that? He asked. There's a buzz to the place, I said. People seem happier. We came in and we bought our cleaner selves, and the place is feeling it. Sorry. There's a hand up.
Yes, Rashmi? Rashmi ji.
Yeah, I want to ask you.
हाँ रश्मि जी बोलिए.
Since you were just saying that if you operate out of abundance, you'll get abundance, right? Now, supposing somebody owes you a lot of money, and that person is not coming around at all, and it's been a long time since it has happened. So, what do you do in that case? Do you think about that money, or you ask for that money, or how do you get it?
So what is your state of consciousness when you're thinking about that money?
That we have to get money from him. He owes us some money.
You have to get money from him. That's a given, right? I'm asking, what is your state of consciousness when you're thinking about it? Are you
When,
Are you feeling depleted, or are you feeling uplifted?
we're feeling betrayed.
You're feeling betrayed. Now, when you're feeling betrayed, which side of the grid will you be in?
Red, left.
So, are you going to get the money?
I know what you're saying, but what is the solution? How do
You are attached to it, right?
Hmm.
You are attached to it. Let go of your attachment and then see what
Okay.
happens.
Okay. Don't even ask for it from him.
No. I'm not telling you not to ask for it. Please understand. I'm not telling you not to ask for it. What I'm saying is that you are attached to it, and that is what is putting you on the left side of the grid.
Okay.
Right? Now, to get on the right side of the grid, what do you need to do?
Let go of. And it
Let
will come
go
on
of.
its own.
I'm not telling you don't go and ask him, but what is the state of consciousness with which you are asking? Analyze that.
See, now lately what we are thinking that money will come, it is going to come, and we are constantly in touch with the guy, and each time he's saying, I'm arranging the money, I'm arranging the money.
So then you shift your state of consciousness and then ask him from that and see if there's a shift in his state of consciousness.
So shift means I should let go of and
let go of your attachment to it. And if it comes, it's very good. If it doesn't come, it's very good.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, just let's work on that. Okay, so we'll have to stop today. There's something which very, very urgent has come up. So we'll meet again on Monday for book reading. Apologize for the early stop today, but please bear with us. Okay, special request from Shri Mangla. There's something really urgent come up. So we'll meet again. And because of this, today we will not have meditation also, most probably. So I will post on the groups. If the meditation is not there, then I will post on the groups. Okay, anyone, anything to say before we wrap up?